Hello everyone, welcome to CET class. In this video, I am going to discuss the chapter Electromagnetic Induction. Usually, 2 to 4 marks comes from this chapter in every year CET paper. One can easily crack the CET paper only if he has the comprehensive knowledge of fundamentals. And the second thing is practice. Usually practicing the previous year question papers. Only the knowledge of fundamental is not sufficient. Without practice, if we attempt the CET exam, major chances of mistakes are possible. So do practice as much as possible. Okay, now let us start the discussion on synopsis of the chapter Electromagnetic Induction. So what is electromagnetic induction? Already in our regular classes we studied the phenomenon of generating electric current due to changing magnetic flux. That means whenever magnetic flux changes, induced EMF takes place or the electric current is generated, so we can call it as electromagnetic induction. Initially, the scientists Faraday and Henry demonstrated 3 experiments. That is current induced by magnet, current induced by current and current induced by changing current. From these 3 experiments, we have 2 conclusions and those 2 conclusions are itself called as Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So what is the first law? An EMF is induced in coil only when the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes with respect to the time t. That means whenever magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, then induced EMF takes place in the coil. So this is first law. And the second law states induced EMF is given by the equation E equal to d pi divided by dt. That gives magnitude of induced EMF. Remember, in the first law we came to know how to generate electric current in the coil. And from the second law, we came to know how much electric current is generated. So, the magnitude of induced EMF is given by the equation E equal to d pi by dt. E indicates induced EMF and d pi by dt indicates a rate of change of magnetic flux. That means, whenever magnetic flux with respect to time changes, then induced EMF takes place. So, these are the 2 laws of electromagnetic induction. And induced current is observed in a closed circuit. Only in a closed circuit we can observe induced current because we know that in a closed circuit the electric current flows. So, induced current is observed in a closed circuit. And the next part is magnetic flux. It is similar to electric flux. Flux means flow. The number of magnetic field lines are passing through the given surface area. That gives magnetic flux. So, flux is generally denoted by the symbol pi. This is magnetic flux. So, we can write pi b and it is given by the equation pi b equal to b dot a. So, this b indicates intensity of magnetic field and a is surface area. So, this is dot product. So, we can write BA cos theta, where theta is angle between B and A, that is surface area and intensity of magnetic field. Now, this is Lenz's law. From Faraday's law, we came to know the magnitude of induced EMF, how to generate induced EMF. Now, this is direction of induced EMF. So that polarity or the direction of induced EMF is given by Lenz's law. The direction of induced EMF is always to oppose the cause of EMF. That means whatever the induced EMF takes place in the coil, it is only because of changing magnetic flux. So when it is induced in the coil, then because of its direction, it starts to oppose changing magnetic flux. Changing magnetic flux is itself the cause of EMF. And it is given by the equation E equal to minus d pi by dt. So negative sign indicates the direction of induced EMF. That means always induced EMF takes place in the opposite direction. And in Lenz's law we have already studied. Lenz's law is the consequence of law of conservation of energy. That is, mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. We already know about law of conservation of energy. That is, energy can either be created nor be destroyed, but one form of energy can be converted into another form. So likewise, here this mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. And the direction of induced EMF and hence the current is given by Fleming's right hand rule, or it is also called as dynamo rule. According to Fleming's right hand rule, when we stretch the three fingers of our right hand, in that forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field, thumb indicates the motion of the conductor, and middle finger indicates direction of induced current. This is also called as generator rule. Then this is motional EMF. Yes, when we are going to consider a conducting rod, when that conducting rod is moving in a uniform magnetic field, because of changing magnetic flux linked with that conductor, induced EMF takes place. So we can call it as motional EMF, and it is given by the equation E equal to BLV. E indicates induced EMF in that conducting rod. B is magnetic field, intensity of magnetic field, and L indicates that length of the conducting rod, and V is its velocity. Because that conductor is moving with velocity V in the uniform magnetic field, so that magnetic flux changes, induced EMF takes place. And induced current is given by the equation I equal to BLV divided by R. Here you can remember Ohm's law. That is V equal to IR, or I equal to V divided by R. So there we considered potential difference, but here we have to consider induced EMF. Then changing magnetic flux linked with the conductor in a time dt. It is given by d pi equal to b dot a. This is magnetic flux. Or we can write it as d pi equal to b into L into dx. Area is length into breadth. So we can take length of the rod is L, and it is moving with velocity V, and it covers the displacement or the distance, small displacement dx. So BL dx. And this is self-induction. Induced EMF takes place by itself. That means when the changing current passes through the coil, yes, an EMF is developed by the coil in the opposite direction. So here, whenever current changes in the coil, induced EMF takes place in the same coil, but it is in opposite direction. So we can call it as self-induction. Induced EMF is given by the equation E equal to minus L into di by dt. So L is proportionality constant. We can call it as self-inductance. Minus L into di by dt. We know that negative sign indicates induced EMF takes place in the opposite direction. Then self-inductance of a coil. It is given by the equation, or self-inductance of a solenoid is given by the equation L equal to mu naught mu r n square A divided by L. So here don't get confused with L here. This is self-inductance and this is length of that solenoid. And the self-induction or self-induced EMF is also called as back EMF because induced EMF takes place in the backward or in the opposite direction. And the applications of self-inductance is choke coil and its SI unit is Henry. An ideal inductor has negligible resistance but large self-inductance. So resistance opposition is very less in ideal inductor, so that large self-inductance takes place in the solenoid. Then this is mutual induction. Mutual induction means whenever current changes in one coil, induced EMF takes place in the neighboring coil. So this is the phenomenon in which current passing through one coil induces an EMF in the neighboring coil. Here we have to consider two coils. So this induced EMF in the secondary coil is given by the equation E equal to minus M into di by dt. M is again proportionality constant, that is mutual inductance. Mutual inductance for a pair of coil or for a given solenoid is given by the equation M equal to mu naught mu r N1 N2 A divided by L. N1 is number of turns in the first solenoid or first coil and N2 is number of turns in the second coil. And A is the area of the given coil and L is its length. So this is mutual inductance of a solenoid. And the SI unit of mutual inductance is Henry. And there are applications you can observe here, transformer and induction coil. Energy stored in a coil. It is given by the equation U equal to half L I square. L is inductance and I is the current. The equation is U equal to 1 by 2 L I square. This is energy stored in a coil. And energy is stored in the coil in its magnetic field. This is eddy current. Eddy means circulating. The current is induced in the thick conductor when it is placed in a changing magnetic field. The circulating current is induced in the massive conductor or in the bulk or thick conductor when it is placed in changing magnetic field. So these are called eddy currents. Eddy currents are also called as Foucault current because this current was discovered by the scientist Foucault. Eddy currents are having many applications, that is electromagnetic damping, electromagnetic brakes, induction furnace, speedometer and induction motor. These are some applications of eddy current. This is AC generator. AC generator works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. That is, mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. And magnetic flux passing through the coil is given by the equation. We know that pi equal to B dot A or BA cos theta. For n number of turns, we can write n AB cos theta. Instead of theta, we can write omega t. Because omega equal to theta by t or theta equal to omega into t. And here, induced EMF is given by E equal to E naught sin omega t, where E naught is peak value of induced EMF, which is given by the equation E equal to NAB omega, or we can write in short E equal to E naught sin omega t. And induced current is given by the equation, instead of E we can write I equal to I naught sin omega t. And this induced EMF varies sinusoidally with time. So whatever the current is produced in this generator, it is changing sinusoidally with time. So we are going to call it as alternating current. So this is the brief synopsis of the chapter electromagnetic induction. Now let us begin with the first question. An electron moves along the line AB, which lies in the same plane as a circular loop of conducting wires as shown in the diagram. What will be the direction of current induced, if any, in the loop? So this question is based on Faraday's second law of electromagnetic induction. We know that it is given by the equation E equal to minus d pi divided by dt. That means when magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, then induced EMF takes place. See here, the electron is moving along the line AB, that is from left to right side it is moving. When it starts to move, initially it is towards the circular loop. When it is towards the circular loop, magnetic flux increases because it is very close to circular loop. So magnetic flux increases, induced EMF takes place, current is produced. Now that current is moving in anti-clockwise direction. See here, when this electron passes by or when it is away from this circular loop, if this electron is moving away, then magnetic flux linked with this circular loop decreases, again induced EMF takes place, so that current is induced in clockwise direction. Right? See here, when electron is towards the loop, magnetic flux increases, so that current is induced in the loop, but it is moving in anti-clockwise direction. When the same electron passes by or when it is away from the loop, then magnetic flux linked with that coil decreases, so that again induced EMF takes place, current is produced, but now that current is produced in clockwise direction. So that you can observe the options here. The right option is D, because the current will change direction as the electron passes by. When electron passes by the circular loop, direction of the current automatically changes. Initially, direction of current is anti-clockwise. When electron passes by the circular loop, current changes its direction, that is clockwise. So the right option is D. A copper rod of length L is rotated about one end perpendicular to the magnetic field B with constant angular velocity omega. The induced EMF between the two ends is, see here, first we can consider a uniform magnetic field. In this uniform magnetic field, they are going to keep a copper rod which is having length L. Let us consider this is a copper rod having length L, and it is moving with constant angular velocity omega. Let us take this is angular velocity omega. Here we have to calculate induced EMF between the two ends. We know the equation. Induced EMF is given by, the magnitude of induced EMF is given by E equal to d pi divided by dt. But we know that pi equal to B dot A, number of magnetic field lines passing through the given surface area. So this equation can be written as B into dA divided by dt, because this is uniform magnetic field. This magnetic field is constant. Or we can write it as E equal to B into, in place of dA, I am going to write area of this circle because only one end of the copper rod is moving perpendicular to the uniform magnetic field. So it completes one circle. We can consider area of circle. So area of circle is pi r square. So instead of radius, we can take length, that is pi l square, divided by, when it completes one rotation, that time interval can be written as time period. So E equal to B into pi l square divided by, so time period can be written as, see here, omega equal to theta divided by t. This is general equation. Or when it completes one rotation, we can write theta becomes 2 pi radian and time period. So we want t equal to 2 pi divided by omega. So instead of writing capital T, we can write 2 pi divided by omega. E equal to, so here pi will get cancelled. So remaining is B L square. So omega will go to numerator divided by 2. Or we can write it as E equal to 1 by 2 B omega L square. So the right option is A. Two different coils have self-inductance. L1 equal to 8 millihenry, L2 equal to 2 millihenry. The current in one coil is increased at a constant rate. The current in the second coil is also increased at the same rate. At a certain instant of time, the power given to the two coils is the same. At that time, the current, the induced voltage, and the energy stored in the first coils are I1, V1 and W1 respectively. Corresponding values for the second coil at the same instant are I2, V2 and W2 respectively then. See here, they are going to consider two different coils having self-inductance 8 millihenry and 2 millihenry. So from Faraday's law, we have the equation. See here, from Faraday's law, we have the equation V is directly proportional to L, or V equal to minus L into di by dt. This equation we have studied in self-induction. Or we can write here, according to this question, the current is increasing at the same rate. Current is the same here. So I can write for first and second coil, I am going to write it as V2 divided by V1 equal to L2 divided by L1. These ratio we can find it. So self-inductance for second and first coil it is given. For second coil it is 2 millihenry. For first coil it is 8 millihenry. 10 raised to minus 3. That will be get cancelled. So the answer is 1 divided by 4. Or we can write the ratio of V1 and V2. That will be 4. Then we can talk about the power. Power given to the two coils is the same. Power given to the two coils is the same. So power is given by the equation P equal to VI. So therefore we can write for the two coils V1 I1 equal to V2 I2. Or we can write it as I1 divided by I2 equal to V2 divided by V1. So V2 divided by V1 is equal to what? 1 divided by 4. Then third point, energy. Energy stored is given by the equation U equal to half Li square. But here instead of U, they given the symbol W. So W equal to half Li square, or we can write it as W2 divided by W1 equal to, using this equation, L2 divided by L1 and I2 divided by I1 whole square. Substitute the values. L2 divided by L1 is 1 by 4. I2 divided by I1, here it is I2 divided by I1. So I2 divided by I1 is 4. I1 by I2 is 1 by 4. So I2 divided by I1 is 4 square, or 1 by 4 into 16. So the answer is 4. And we can write it as W1 divided by W2 equal to 1 divided by 4. So the correct option is W2 divided by W1, or W1 by W2. So the correct option is C. W2 divided by W1 equal to 4. A coil having an area A0 is placed in a magnetic field which changes from B0 to 4B0 in time interval T. The EMF induced in the coil will be. So EMF induced is given by the equation induced EMF E equal to d pi divided by dt. So E equal to d divided by dt of, so magnetic flux means B dot A, E equal to, so area of the coil is given, that is A0. So it is constant. So we can write d by dt of B A0. So area is constant, take outside, remaining is d by dt of B. So changing magnetic field is given. Initial it is B0, then it will be 4B0. So we can write final minus initial, that is 4B0 minus B0 divided by time is given T. So the equation is A0, 4B0 minus B0 is 3B0 divided by T, or we can write it as 3 into A0 B0 divided by T. So the right option is A. An infinitely long cylinder is kept parallel to an uniform magnetic field B directed along positive z-axis. The direction of induced current as seen from the z-axis will be. Here they had given an infinite long cylinder, and this cylinder is kept in a uniform magnetic field along positive z-axis. Here you should remember 2 points. The first point is, suppose this cylinder is moving in this magnetic field, so that flux changes, induced EMF takes place. But according to this question, this cylinder is not moving, it is kept parallel to the magnetic field. So this cylinder is at constant, flux is constant, so there is no induced EMF. The second point is, suppose if these magnetic field lines are changing, suppose if the magnetic field lines are changing, then that produces electric field. So this electric field applies force on free electrons of this cylinder, then current will be induced. But according to this question, this is a uniform magnetic field, so this magnetic field is also not changing. Magnetic field is also not changing, and the infinitely long cylinder is also not moving, so that there is no induced EMF in this cylinder. So the answer is A, that is 0, because there is no induced current. So why there is no induced current here? Because magnetic flux is not changing. A conducting wire frame is placed in a magnetic field which is directed into the paper. The magnetic field is increasing at a constant rate. The directions of induced current in wires AB and CD are. Here they had given a magnetic field. In this magnetic field, they kept a conducting wire frame, that is ABCD. When magnetic field is increasing at the constant rate, when magnetic field increases, so that magnetic flux linked with this frame also increases, induced EMF takes place. So now we have to find the direction of induced current in the wire AB and CD. Here AB is a small loop and CD is a bigger loop. Now remember the equation E equal to minus d pi divided by dt. That means when magnetic flux changes, induced EMF takes place, and that takes place in opposite direction. See here, when magnetic field increases, flux changes, induced EMF takes place in both the loop AB and CD. So in bigger loop, induced EMF takes place in the opposite direction according to Lenz's law. That gives polarity of induced EMF. Similarly, in the smaller loop AB, here also it is produced in the opposite direction. The direction of induced EMF in the wire AB and CD is always in the opposite direction according to Faraday's second law, or we can consider Lenz's law. So, in the bigger loop, D to C, in the smaller loop, B to A. So, B to A and D to C is the correct answer, because we know that induced EMF takes place in the backward or in the opposite direction. The magnetic flux through a circuit of resistance R changes by an amount delta pi in a time delta t. Then the total quantity of electric charge Q that passes any point in the circuit during the time delta t is represented by. See here, we have two equations. One is induced EMF E equal to d pi by dt. This is first equation. And the second equation is E equal to IR. This is according to Ohm's law. Let us take it as equation 2. Or we can write it as I equal to E divided by R. In place of E, we can write equation number 1. Therefore, I equal to d pi divided by dt into 1 by R. R keep as it is. So, electric current means it is rate of change of charge. So, we can write it as dq divided by dt equal to d pi divided by dt into 1 by R. So, dt will get cancelled. So, the equation is Q equal to d pi divided by R, or we can write delta pi divided by R. That means induced charge is equal to changing magnetic flux divided by resistance. So, the answer is C. Q equal to delta pi by R. The north pole of a bar magnet is moved towards a coil along the axis, passes through the center of the coil and perpendicular to the plane of the paper. The direction of induced current in the coil when viewed in the direction of motion of the magnet is. See here, we already studied Lenz's law. We can apply that theory here. Let us consider a coil, and here this is a bar magnet, north pole, this is south pole. When this north pole of the bar magnet is moving towards the coil, magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, induced EMF takes place, so that current is produced in anti-clockwise direction. Similarly, when the same bar magnet or the north pole of the bar magnet, when it is moving away from this coil, again magnetic flux decreases, induced EMF takes place, but here this is moving away, so current is produced in clockwise direction. So when it is produced the current in anti-clockwise, so that generates north pole. It is moving along north direction. When the current is moving along clockwise direction, so that produces south pole. Here, north pole of the magnet, north pole or north polarity of the coil, both are same pole, so there is a force of repulsion. Here, north pole of the magnet is moving away and it produces south pole here. Both are opposite poles, so there is a force of attraction. That's why this mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. So the question is, the direction of induced current in the coil when viewed in the direction of motion of the magnet is. Yes, when north pole is moving towards the coil, the current is produced in the anti-clockwise direction. So the option B is right. If a current increases from 0 to 1 ampere in 0.1 second in a coil of 5 millihenry, then the magnitude of induced EMF will be. Magnitude of induced EMF, it is given by the equation E equal to L into di divided by dt. This is the equation. So self-inductance is given 5 millihenry, E equal to 5 into 10 raised to minus 3, di divided by dt. So di, change in the current. So changing current is from 0 to 1. So 0 to 1 means we can write 1 minus 0, final current minus initial, divided by time is given 0.1. So E equal to 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 1 minus 0 is 1 divided by 0.1. Or we can write it as 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 0.1 can be written as 10 raised to minus 1, or 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 10 raised to plus 1. So that will be 5 into 10 raised to minus 2 or 0.05 volt. So the answer is option C. A coil of resistance 400 ohm is placed in a magnetic field. If the magnetic flux pi linked with the coil varies with the time t as pi equal to 50 t square plus 4, the current in the coil at t equal to 2 second is. So we can use the equation E equal to minus d pi by dt. So pi is already given in the above question. E equal to minus d by dt of pi value is how much? That is 50 t square plus 4. Differentiate this equation. E equal to minus keep as it is. D by dt of 50 t square, 50 is constant. D by dt of t square, it is of the form x raised to n. So we can write 2t plus this is 0. Or we can write it as E equal to minus 100t. And we have one more equation. That is according to Ohm's law, we have the equation I equal to E divided by R. So we want the magnitude of current. So I equal to, so we can write it as 100T divided by resistance is given, that is 400. So I equal to, that will be 100T, 100, time is given 2 seconds divided by 400. So I equal to 200 divided by 400. So the answer is 0.5 ampere. Option A is right. A coil having N turns and resistance R ohm is connected with a galvanometer of resistance 4R ohm. This combination is moved in a time T seconds from a magnetic field W1 Weber to W2 Weber. The induced current in the circuit is, yes, we know induced EMF is given by the equation E equal to minus d pi divided by dt. Here in this equation, W1 Weber to W2 Weber magnetic field is changing in time t. So this gives a changing magnetic flux. So we can write E equal to minus W2 minus W1 divided by time is given t. And the second point is about resistance. The coil resistance is R ohm and galvanometer resistance is 4R ohm. So the total resistance is given by total resistance R equal to resistance of the coil R plus resistance of the galvanometer is 4R, that gives 5R. Now we can use Ohm's law, that is E equal to d pi divided by I equal to E divided by R. So I equal to, in place of E, we can write this equation, that is minus W2 minus W1 divided by T into total resistance is 5R. So the final equation is I equal to minus, for N number of turns we can write N into W2 minus W1 divided by 5RT. So the right option is B. A conductor of length 0.4 meter is moving with a speed of 7 meter per second perpendicular to a magnetic field of intensity 0.9 Weber per meter square. The induced EMF across the conductor is, we can use motional EMF equation here, that is E equal to BLV. Here length of the conductor is given, that is 0.4 meter, and velocity of the conductor is 7 meter per second and magnetic field is 0.9 Weber per meter square. Substitute here all the givens. E equal to magnetic field is 0.9 into length of the conductor is 0.4 and speed of the conductor is 7 meter per second. So E equal to 2.52 volt. So option B is correct. A circular coil and a bar magnet placed nearby are made to move in the same direction. If the coil covers a distance of 1 meter in 0.5 second and the magnet a distance of 2 meter in 1 second, the induced EMF produced in the coil is. So induced EMF takes place in the coil only when magnetic flux linked with the coil changes. So first we can take their velocity. See here, both coil and magnet are moving in the same direction. So let us find their velocity. So velocity of circular coil is given by, it covers 1 meter distance in 0.5 seconds. So that gives 2 meter per second. This is velocity of the coil. Similarly, velocity of magnet is given by, it covers 2 meter in 1 second. So its velocity is again 2 meter per second. So that indicates velocity of coil and magnet both are same. Both are moving in the same direction. That's why their relative velocity is 0. Because 2 minus 2 we can get 0. So when relative velocity is 0, that indicates there is no induced EMF, or induced EMF is 0. That means when velocity is 0, that indicates both coil and magnet are at rest. So that induced EMF is 0 because magnetic flux does not changes. So the right answer is 0. That is option A. A circular coil of radius 6 cm and 20 turns rotates about its vertical diameter with an angular speed of 40 radian per second in a uniform horizontal magnetic field of magnitude 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 Tesla. If the coil form a closed loop of resistance 8 ohm, then the average power loss due to Joule heating is. Remember, we know that mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy, then that electrical energy is dissipated in the form of heat energy. So here we have to calculate average power loss due to Joule heating. So average power, so the formula is P equal to V naught I naught divided by 2. So this gives average power. So here first we have to calculate the maximum induced EMF and maximum current. First we have to calculate V naught and I naught. So let us take down the givens. Radius is given 6 centimeter. Number of turns 20. Then it is moving with angular velocity, that is 40 radian per second. Magnetic field is given B equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 Tesla and resistance is 8 ohm. So these are the givens. Let us find the maximum velocity. So we know that maximum induced EMF is denoted by E naught. We have the equation E naught equal to N A B omega. So this equation we can use to calculate E naught. So E naught equal to number of turns is given 20 into area. So area of the circular coil is equal to area of circle, that is pi r square, into magnetic field is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 and angular velocity is 40. So by calculating all these values we can get E naught equal to 0.18 volt. Now remember, average value of induced EMF over a complete cycle is always equal to 0, because we know that induced EMF is in the form of a sinusoidal, that is alternating, positive and negative, that will be get cancelled. So average value of EMF over a full cycle or a complete cycle is 0. That is E average is 0 for one complete cycle. Then we can go to I naught value, maximum current. Now we can calculate maximum current using Ohm's law. So that is maximum value of current in the coil is given by the equation. Maximum current is denoted by I naught equal to E naught divided by R. Substitute the values of E naught, that is 0.18 divided by resistance is 8. So I naught value is 0.023 ampere. So now we got maximum current I naught. And also we got maximum EMF, that is E naught. Now we have the formula. Average power dissipated is P equal to V naught I naught divided by 2. Substitute the values here. So therefore P average or average power dissipated as joule heating, that is V naught I naught divided by 2. Or you can write E naught I naught divided by 2. Therefore, E naught value is 0.18 into I naught is 0.023 divided by 2. So, the P average value will be 2.07 into 10 raised to minus 3 and the SI unit is watt. So, this is average power dissipated as heat energy. So, the right option is option A, 2.07 into 10 raised to minus 3 watt. A boy pedals a stationary bicycle. The pedals of the bicycle are attached to a 200 turn coil of area 0.10 meter square. The coil rotates at half a revolution per second and it is placed in a uniform magnetic field of 0.02 Tesla, perpendicular to the axis of rotation of the coil. The maximum voltage generated in the coil is. So first we can note down the givens. So number of turn is given 200. Area is 0.1 meter square. Half revolution per second. Per second is the SI unit of frequency. Remember, hertz or per second. This is the SI unit of frequency. That means frequency is given. F equal to half revolution means 0.5 per second, or we can write hertz. And it is placed in a uniform magnetic field B equal to 0.02 Tesla. We have to calculate maximum voltage, that is E naught. So maximum induced EMF is given by the equation E naught equal to NAB omega, or E naught equal to NAB. Instead of writing omega, we can write 2 pi F because frequency is given. So E naught equal to number of turn is 200 into area is 0.1 into magnetic field is 0.02 into 2 pi, frequency 0.5. So the answer is E naught equal to 1.26 volt. So option B is right. A conducting circular loop is placed in a uniform magnetic field B equal to 0.025 Tesla with its plane perpendicular to the loop. The radius of the loop is made to shrink at a constant rate of 1 millimeter per second. The induced EMF when the radius is 2 centimeter. First, write down the givens. Magnetic field is 0.025 Tesla. Radius is 2 centimeter, that is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter, and this radius shrink at the constant rate of 1 millimeter per second. This radius is changing with respect to time, that is 1 millimeter per second. So we have to calculate induced EMF. So we have the equation E equal to d pi by dt. Or in place of pi, I can write d into a, or B into area of the circle, area of the conducting circular loop, that is pi r square. So now this equation, induced EMF E equal to d by dt of, in place of pi we can write B pi r square. Here magnetic field is constant, pi is constant, take outside, remaining is d by dt of r square. Differentiate it now. B into pi, this is 2r into dr divided by dt. Now substitute all the values. B is given 0.025 into pi into 2 into radius is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. dr by dt is given, that is 10 raised to minus 3. 1 millimeter means 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So E equal to, we can get the value 0.100 pi into 10 raised to minus 5. E equal to, or we can write it as 0.1 pi into 10 raised to minus 6 volt, or E equal to pi mu volt. So the right answer is pi mu volt, that is option B. The mutual inductance of a pair of coils, each of n turns, is m Henry. If a current of 5 ampere in one of the coils is brought to 0 in t seconds, then the EMF induced per turn in the other coil in volt will be. See here, mutual inductance means generally we have the equation E equal to minus m into di by dt. This equation we can use here. Here there are n number of turns. It is given in the equation n number of turns. So we can write it as minus n into m into di divided by dt. Or E equal to minus n into m. Keep as it is. The current is changing. Current of I ampere in one coil is brought to 0. It means final current is 0 minus initial current is I in time t. So the equation becomes E equal to minus nm. This will be 0 minus I. This is minus I. Minus into minus will be plus nmi divided by t. Now the question is the EMF induced per turn. EMF induced per unit turn is E divided by N. This is per unit turn. So the equation becomes what? Nmi divided by Nt. So N will get cancelled. For unit turn, induced EMF is Mi divided by T. So this is induced EMF per unit turn. So the correct answer is Mi divided by T, that is option A. When the current in a coil changes from 2 ampere to 4 ampere in 0.05 second, an EMF of 8 volt is induced in the coil. The coefficient of self-inductance of the coil is, see here, changing current is given, that is di equal to, that is 4 minus 2. So that is 2 ampere. This is changing current in time 0.05 seconds. So this is time. And induced EMF is given 8 volt. Now we have to calculate L value. So what is the equation? E equal to L into di divided by dt. Or we can substitute the values. E is 8 volt. L we have to calculate, keep as it is. Di by dt is 2 divided by 0.05. Or we can write L equal to 0.05 into 8 divided by 2. So that gives L equal to 0.2
Henry. So 0.2 Henry, that is option B is the right answer.